welcome to Sports Corner with Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And now here's your host, Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Broseph Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and MM-Eniacs. The nightly podcasts are Palace Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports, Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows.
All right, we're having some technical issues with that. I was trying to get Queen on. We are the champions, but apparently I was having some issues with that. So we're having some tech issues today, but that's all right. We got them pretty much solved. Good afternoon. I'm Ralph Williams, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Corner Show. My name, Ralph Williams. As I mentioned, my host is Smokin' Jim Frazier by phone. Smokin' Jim, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. I'm ready for this one.
All right, and also, I want to thank Pensman Sports, who is my monitor for today's comments on the YouTube channel. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and we're also live on the Kick Network and live on the Huddle Sports Network on Roku and also on Fire Stick TV. And we will be also live on the Huddle Sports Network Facebook page as well. If you notice, I'm wearing sunglasses today. Those of you who don't know, I made the announcement on Saturday that I have real bad cataracts in my right eye and also in my left eye, but my right eye is worse, and I have these prescription sunglasses that I'm to wear due to bright light. So I need to wear them in order to see clearly here for right now. I am going up to Pittsburgh on September 20th. There will be no show, no Saturday sports show, and I will be back on September 25th. All RW Media shows will possibly be canceled for that week because of my having to go to Pittsburgh to consult with a surgeon in regards to my cataract in my right eye. So if anyone's that knows me well, wants to meet up with me, knows how to get a hold of me, or Ralph Williams 737 at gmail.com. You want to meet up? I'll be there in Pittsburgh from the 20th to the 25th as well. Our guest today at 4 o'clock, coming up shortly here in a few minutes, will be Matt VENSEL from the Post-Gazette, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, to talk with us about the Penguins as they're getting started with their season. Training camp's getting started soon, and Matt's going to bring us up to speed on what's going on with the Penguins and new coach Dan Muse and who he's hired and what's going on with him. We'll have that 4:30 by phone live from Steeler headquarters. Ray Fittipaldo. Ray will be on. He's going to talk with us about the Pittsburgh Steelers, what Mike Tomlin had to say today in his press conference, the Jets game, a whole lot more. And Smokin' Jim and I have a lot to talk about. And don't forget at 5 o'clock, the Wrestle Talk Show. I have something for you for today for the Wrestle Talk Show. Okay? Today we're going to talk about the Clash at Paris. But I want to know your thoughts on should Adam Pearce, the GM of Raw, be fired after the incidents that took place at the Paris event at the for the Clash at Paris. Should Raw GM Adam Pearce be fired. I think he should, but that's my opinion, and I want your opinion on that as well, based on the what has happened. And we will talk, Smokin' Jim and I will talk about what happened at Clash of Paris. All right. My rant for today is real simple. Pitt beat Duquesne 61-7 this past week in football, 61-9. Okay, great game. Glad Pitt was able to do so, but it was sold out I wouldn't say sold out, but it was 55,000 people. Then they said it was 64,000 people. I heard many different attendance figures. Okay. My question to you is, you sold that game out, Pitt fans. Why can't you sell every other game out? And I get it was against Duquesne. It's a local game. There's a lot of Duquesne alum out there, a lot of Pitt alum out there, a lot of, that kind of thing. I get that. All right. But why can't you sell out every other game, any other Pitt game? So we're playing Central Michigan this week. What's going to happen? There'll be 20,000 fans there. Okay. Come on, Pitt fans. If you're going to practically sell out or put a good crowd together for Duquesne, okay, why can't you put a good crowd together for every game at Acrisure Stadium for Pitt? Are you upset with Pitt? Are you as angry as I am about what has happened? Or do you think Narduzzi's on the hot seat? Okay, there we are. But you practically sold out. You showed up for Duquesne versus Pitt. How about showing up next time for any other game at Acrisure Stadium? All right. Smokin' Jim's wisdom. Go ahead.
A great rant, Ralph, man. That makes a lot of sense. They can show up for Duquesne. They can show up for everybody. So that was a great rant. It was upset, man. A lot of upsets, man. TCU blew out North Carolina, man. It had to be an embarrassment for Bill Belichick. Florida State looked great in their victory over Alabama. LSU over a really good Clemson team at Clemson, I believe.
Yes.
And Miami.
Yes.
Beat Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
So,
yes.
There's some good upsets already in college football.
Yeah, it's been an interesting weekend. I was so happy last night to see North Carolina get blown out. It goes to show you Bill Belichick needs to stay away from the coaching realms. I think it's time for him to sit back and relax. I don't know what it is with this newfound coaching thing in college, but we'll find out as we go. All right, our guest, and he's been waiting patiently in the waiting room, Matt VENSEL from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Matt, welcome to the program.
How you doing?
Good. How are you, Matt? How's everything with you?
I'm great. Just enjoying my last few days of the off season before we start heading to the rink.
All right. Matt, say hello to Smokin' Jim Frazier.
How's it going?
My man, Matt, how you doing, buddy?
All right.
Great.
Okay, Matt, tell us a little bit about what's going to happen this year with the Pittsburgh Penguins. I know they have a new coach, Dan Muse. What's the conception going into the season? Who is Coach Muse hired as assistants? Has he hired any guys of name, which I suggested that I thought he should do, and the players and everything? What's set to happen this year?
Yeah, in terms of his coaching staff, Dan Muse, it's kind of an eclectic mix of assistant coaches. One is Todd Nelson. He's a guy who had, brief stint as an NHL head coach, but has been a very successful AHL head coach, has won 3 Calder Cup championships. Mike Stodders, who's a veteran coach and a cancer survivor who took a little bit of time off and now he's back. Seems to have a great personality. We got to hear from him in July. Nick Bonino, obviously, Penguins fans know him.
Yes.
He was hired.
Yes.
He was going to play in Europe, and Dan Muse, who coached him in Nashville and New York, called him up and said, "Hey, do you want to be a coach?" And here he is. And, Andy Chiodo's back as well. They added Rich Clune to help on the development side. So, probably the only name that the average hockey fan around here would know is Nick Bonino, but it's an interesting group of coaches. As for the team itself, Penguins are a team in transition. They still have guys like Crosby and Malkin and Chris Letang. Carlson's still here. They haven't traded Rust or Raquel. But this team very much is, at least from management's perspective, is rebuilding. We're going to see young players like Rucker McGorty get opportunities to stick with the Penguins. So we'll see if kind of Crosby and the older guys can will this team, kind of into relevancy this year, or if they start trading away some of these players and they go on full-on rebuild. I think management probably would love to quote unquote tank to get a guy like Gavin McKenna, who committed to Penn State and is a very good prospect. But obviously the players and coaches, they have some say in this as well.
All right. I'm actually quite surprised that the players had some say in this. I actually kind of thought Muse was going to put his own staff together, but I guess that's good to do, because if you want chemistry involving your players, I guess you need to get them involved in this as well. All right.
And then they'll have say in how the team fares this year. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another good, interesting thing, too. You don't see too much of that, especially from strict coaches, but we'll see. All right. Matt today is brought to you by Robin Campbell Insurance, 412-366-3399. Call Robin today. Any kind of insurance you need, whether it's life, home, auto, or bundle packages, renters insurance. I tell you what, folks think that's not important. Let me tell you what, don't trust your landlord, man. I'm telling you, don't trust anybody. You got these out-of-state realtors that have these properties in Pittsburgh, and, if the ceiling falls in or something and your stuff gets ruined, you can't get a hold of them. That's where the renter's insurance comes in. It's only about $15, $20 a month. Call Robin today, 412-366-3399. If you own a modular or a manufactured home, Robin can help you get set up with insurance. That's a tough nugget to crack, to get insurance there as well. So call Robin. He'll get you set up real good with that as well. Also, we're our studio sponsor, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-2010-500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. We're in Studio 10 here in Berlin, Maryland, just outside of Ocean City, Maryland. And also, we're sponsored by Mike Dotson Realty, area code 410-596-1681, Mike Dotson Realty. All right, Matt. Smokin' Jim, any questions for Matt about the Penguins?
No, sir.
All right, terrific. Matt, goaltending this year. I know we got Jari possibly coming back. Yadelkovich, I believe, is gone. Is that correct, or is he coming back? What's the word on the goaltending?
Yeah, Nedeljkovic was traded to San Jose. Tristan Jari is still here, expected to be the game one starter. But it'll be interesting to see what happens for the backup position. They had Yoel Blomqvist, who we saw for a couple stints in the NHL last year. First one, pretty good. Second one, really bad. And he didn't exactly seize that backup job with his play last season. They have Sergei Murashov, the intriguing Russian goaltender. I think he's 21 now. They're probably highest on him among all the goalie prospects, but he's only started 17 games in the AHL. So they're probably going to send him there to start the year to get more experience. And then they traded for Artur. I'm going to butcher his name. Arturs Filovs, I believe it is. He's like a 23, 24-year-old. He was kind of a prospect with Vancouver that, got some NHL time, wasn't able to kind of seize his opportunity there, but he led Vancouver's AHL team to the Calder Cup championship this past year. And the Penguins took a flyer on him, got him for a mid-round pick. So he's in the mix as well. I would probably pencil him in as the favorite to back up Jari this year, but I do think it's going to be a battle in camp between the three guys I just mentioned and also another goalie they have, Philip Larson. But so that'll be interesting to watch, a true kind of competition. We haven't seen a lot of those, at least between the pipes in Pittsburgh, ever since Marc-Andre Fleury left.
All right, Stephen Holmes here says, get the popcorn popping and the sodas pouring. Yes, indeed. That used to be my saying when I was on PCTV in Pittsburgh in the 90s when I had my Sports Talk with Ralph Williams show on the old PCTV. So, Stephen, thank you for still following all my media stuff that's going on. Pensman Sports, it's always great to have Pensman join us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to his stuff as well. And, we're going to be talking later on about Becky Lynch and the wrestling stuff going on. The Mad Yinzer always participates here in the show. Ray Fittipaldo is that dude. Yes, he is. And, Matt, later on at 4:30, we're going to have your colleague Ray Fittipaldo on to talk about the Steelers live from Steeler headquarters. So I just want to let you know that as well, Matt. So, and Anyway, Matt, tell us a little bit about Malkin. Is this his last year of his contract? And if so, he's not planning on coming back, I assume, correct?
This is the last year of his contract. He signed a 4-year deal 3 years ago. And I think everybody expects this to be his final season in Pittsburgh one way or another. He hasn't said what he plans to do, like whether this is his last year, but if he's not 40, he turns 40 pretty soon here. But he dodged the media at the end of last year, which is fine. I'm not complaining. He just didn't talk to us. So we didn't give a chance to ask him like, hey, is next year going to be your last year? So, we'll see what he has to say at starting training camp. But, with the Penguins, kind of, they're in a rebuild. I don't know how much appetite there is going to be for them to bring him back. I guess never say never. If the price is right and Sidney Crosby wants him to come back and he feels like playing, and I just said a lot of ifs right there. But I think everybody expects this to be his last season, and you would love to see him go out on his terms or terms as close as it could be as possible. You understand teams have to make tough business decisions, but if it's a situation next summer where he wants to come back and the Penguins say we're moving on, you never love to see that. So we'll see if he feels like the time is right for this to be his final season, and we'll see how much he has left in the tank.
All right. What are we looking at this year, Matt, as far as like the rest of the team goes? The first, I know the first line will be headed up by Crosby. We got Chris Letang coming back. You have Carlson. What is this team doing with Carlson? Are they doing anything? Are they still looking around? What are they going to do?
Well, as we're 3 weeks away from camp here, I guess never say never. Kyle Dubas is always working the phones, but I think we all expected at least one of Carlson, Rust, and Raquel to be traded this summer, and it does not happen. I don't know if the team's kind of pending ownership sale has Dubas's hands tied, or if just a deal hasn't come up that he feels like is worth his while. But Carlson's coming back. I mean, with him in particular, he has a full no trade clause, so he has say in a trade. He has a very big cap number. Obviously the Penguins can eat a little bit of that money to make a trade work, and then look, we've watched him play. He's not, at least in Pittsburgh, he has not looked like a winning player. He makes some amazing stretch passes, and he's a wonderful skater when he wants to actually skate. But, what contender is kind of looking at him and being like, we need that guy. He's the missing piece. So I think all those factors have kind of led to him not getting moved. And I don't know, maybe that happens during the season. I do think the Penguins are still going to look to move, the guys I just mentioned as they want to get deeper into this rebuild. But for the rest of the team, a lot of question marks on defense. The bottom six doesn't look good up front once again. Jari obviously did some good things down the stretch last year, but first half of the season was a disaster. So there's a lot of, question marks, trouble areas, whatever you want to call them. It's hard to imagine the Penguins even sniffing the playoff race once March rolls around. I'll probably end up picking them to finish 7th or 8th in the Metro Division. But, as long as Crosby's still there, we still have to kind of throw out the caveat that you never know, they might be able to find a way to get into the playoffs. But I'm not expecting that. I'll pick them to finish in the bottom two teams in the division.
Smokin' Jim, any questions for Matt?
No, sir.
All right. Matt, let me ask you this question. What kind of system can we expect from Dan Muse? What are we looking at? Run and gun? Are we looking at, heavy passing? What are we looking at with Dan Muse here with his system? What are we looking at?
Yeah, that's a tough one to answer for a couple of reasons. One, he has 0 track record as an NHL head coach. This is his first full-time job. He's been an assistant. So it's hard to say he was the head coach for the U.S. national development team. Well, they had a stacked lineup, so you can coach those guys one way, and he might look at, an NHL team differently. And also he said the last time we heard from him in July that, he needed to take some time, get together with the coaching staff and kind of come up with a collective viewpoint. But I do think it's going to definitely have a defensive slant to it. I still think you're going to see some of the core tenets that Sullivan had in terms of forechecking and puck pursuit, but I do not anticipate this to be like a run and gun offensive type team. I mean, for one, they don't
Right.
have
have the talent for that. I mean,
yeah. So I think they'll have some fresh ideas and a fresh approach, but and I do think he's going to kind of lean more towards trying to get the defensive side squared away. And maybe, who knows, maybe a new coach and a new defensive scheme will, be really good for a guy like Ryan Graves, for example, who everybody rightfully is ready to help him move his stuff and get out of town because his first 2 years didn't go well. But,
right.
He wasn't a great fit in the way the Penguins played under Mike Sullivan. They thought he would be. He thought he would be. He wasn't. But, maybe under Dan Muse, it'll be a different story. So it'll be interesting to see how they look and how they play, and also which of the players that they have on the roster might kind of get a little bit of a performance boost from, a new voice and a new way of playing.
Yeah. I thought this past season with the Penguins, I thought that they kind of try to shove some square pegs into a round hole, and you just can't do that. I mean, that's something that you really can't do. And I know they're still trying to keep the veterans in place and trying to bring in some younger players to try to really, do something to try to compete now. And, so I'm hoping that Dan Muse and his staff can really get this team motivated and get them going and get them moving. The old voice is gone. Now we got the new voice. So we'll see what happens. Any final thoughts, Matt, that you want to add that I didn't cover, that you want to add here about the Penguins for the start of the season?
I mean, I'll just say that, the one thing fans can get excited about beyond just, I think all fans should appreciate getting to see Sidney Crosby as long as he's here. That goes without saying. But I do think fans can finally see some of these young players that they've made a lot of moves, a lot of draft picks. They've done a lot of things to acquire young talent. And, you could argue they still don't have a truly elite prospect at any position in their system, but they have added a lot of intriguing players, and we're going to see some of them. Guys like Ville Koivunen, guys like Rutger McGroarty. We'll see if Harrison Brunick or Owen Pickering, the two defensemen, can make the team. So while I expect the Penguins to be bad, I do think it should be entertaining in some ways, because there's going to be some new blood in here, and we're going to get to see guys like McGroarty play alongside Sidney Crosby for stretches. So, I think that's one thing. If you can kind of just set aside the fact that the Penguins might not win a ton of games, but you can sit down and just say, okay, like, I'm going to enjoy this for what it is. And we're going to see these young guys kind of, take their lumps and see who can rise up and become quality NHL players.
All right. Thank you, Matt, for being part of the program today. Smokin' Jim, any final thoughts you want to ask Matt before he goes?
No, great job as usual, Matt. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right. Matt Vensel, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, covers the Pittsburgh Penguins. Check out his articles on the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Coming up in about 5-6 minutes, we have Ray Fittipaldo on by phone, and he will be from Steeler headquarters. And he's going to talk with us about the Steelers as they get ready for Sunday's game against the Jets and a whole lot more. Matt, thank you again for being part of the program. Have yourself a great one.
All right, you got it. And tell Ray I said hello.
I will do so. Thank you, Matt. And Matt, I need to talk with you on the phone privately about something. So I'll be giving you a call this week, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
I want to share with you that you might want to know. All right?
Okay.
All right, thanks. All right. All right, that was Matt Vensel from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Your thoughts, Smokin' Jim, on what Matt had to add?
I tell you what, man, it's time. Penguins are in transition, and it's a lot of things we don't know. Got a new coaching staff to the NHL, and we got older players who. Smokin look like it's his last year playing in the NHL. He may play in Russia or something like that after this. But it's just it's sad to see a great era coming to a close. But we had some great memories with the Penguins over the years, and now it's going to be a lot of sad seasons
Yeah,
from here
we're
on
going to
this
have
point
to,
out.
the fans are going to have to take the lumps here, Smoking Jim. I mean, we have a new coach again, and nobody knows what kind of system he's going to run, as Matt said. And then, remember Kevin Constantine? He had everyone didn't like him because he was a defensive coach and he had a boring system. But you know what was funny about Kevin Constantine? He won games. Okay. And I know he didn't put too many fans in the seats because of his boring system and the way he conducted himself and everything he was real strict with players and stuff. I'm hoping that Dan Muse can step up and say, hey, look, I'm the coach. I know you had Mike Sullivan here, one of the best coaches in the NHL. His voice got kind of old, I guess, in his system didn't work for what's available. We're going to have to really take our lumps here as Penguin fans, and also, as folks in the media here, and fans out there, and especially those of you who watch and follow my programs here, we're gonna have to take a lot of lumps for the Penguins this year because the Penguins are now with yet another head coach, and Sidney Crosby. This is what his fourth or fifth head coach that since he's been with the team that I can think of. Smoking Jim. Hey, they're Smoking Jim.
Well, the one thing we know is this team's not that good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I know they're not.
there
I hate
there
to say
is hope. There is hope because I think the Penguins got like 28 or 30 draft picks over the next 3 years. So if they land some pretty good players, um, young players during that time, that could be the foundation for the future. But as far as 2025, it's just not a good team.
Yeah, and we're going to find out who shows up at the games. I mean, are they going to sell out? Are they going to continue to draw? That's going to be an interesting scenario. So we'll find out. All right. In about 2 or 3 minutes here, we're going to have Ray Fittipaldo come on real quick. Smoking Jim, your thoughts on Saturday's game between Duquesne and Pitt?
I think you summed it up in your rant.
Yeah, exactly. It was a blowout, but I kind of thought that was going to be the case, that it was going to be practically a blowout. I didn't expect it to be that bad of a blowout, and I actually was kind of not jinxing the team, but I was kind of like really kind of, just suspecting that that Pitt could score a loss like it did that time with Paul Christ against the Youngstown State. Okay, coming up right now, we're going to have Ray Fittipaldo from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Ray, welcome to the program. Ray, welcome to the show. Right there, Ray. Ray, welcome to the program. All right, good, Ray. Sorry about this, folks. We're having a few technical issues here. I was trying to get Ray on something here, and here we are. Hang on a minute, Ray. Okay, Ray, try again. Get it fixed here, as we always do. Hang on, Ray. Okay, try now, Ray. Yep. All right, we have to do it this way. Okay, Ray. Welcome to the program, Ray. You're down at Steeler headquarters. What's going on with the Steelers getting ready for this Sunday's game against the Jets?
Is out this week due to his knee sprain. I think there's a chance he might be able to play in the home opener next week, but he is out this week. And then, the other big one is outside linebacker Nick Herbig. Mike Tomlin listed him as questionable with a hamstring injury. There's a chance he might be able to play, but Ralphie's been dealing with this for a couple of weeks now, so he might be out of the lineup as well. So, that's the big news out of today. Also, Cam Hayward saying on his podcast that he may or may not play in the opener. So that's certainly drawn a few headlines. But unlike most people, I think Cam, given his captaincy, played over the years. I expect him to be out there with his teammates on Sunday.
All right. Smoking Jim Sailor Ray.
My man Ray, what it is, brother?
All right. Smoking Jim Frazier there, Ray. If you can't hear him, he just said hello. So.
Yeah, I cannot hear him, but hello to Jim as well.
All right, there you go. All right. Let's talk, Ray. Sad to hear about these injuries. What can we expect this Sunday from this Steeler football team, based on what you've seen and based on what Coach Tomlin had to say today at his press conference?
Yeah, listen, I think this team is built in a similar fashion to some of the other teams that Mike has had the last couple of years. Even though they went out and got Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf and Jonnu Smith, I still think this is a team that's built around the defense. I think they're going to win games, especially early in the season, because of this defense. And I do think eventually the offense has a chance to come around and, maybe be average or slightly above average. But, this is still the NFL's highest paid defense. It's the highest paid defense in the league, Ralph, by, I think, $17 million. So
wow,
that's the way this team is built, and I think that's the way they expect to win football games.
All right, Smoking Jim, you have any questions for Ray?
Yeah, can you repeat this to him, Ralph? If Sauce Gardner is good enough to take away DK Metcalf, does Ray have enough confidence in the other receivers?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be an interesting matchup to see how that works out. And I think, Tomlin kind of referenced that today. That, DK Metcalf is going to draw double teams, or he's going to draw situations where a guy like Sauce Gardner is maybe going to match up with him one-on-one, and then it's going to be up to guys like Jonnu Smith and Pat Fryermuth and Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin to win their one-on-one battle. So I think that's definitely a great sidebar to this game. It's very perceptive of you, Jim, to point that out. I think guys other than DK Metcalf are going to have to show up on Sunday if the Steelers want to win this football game, because they do have one of the premier corners in the NFL in Sauce Gardner who is capable of shutting him down. It doesn't mean he's going to do it, but I think that's the matchup we're going to see. So right out of the gate, we're going to get a chance to see some of these guys on the periphery, the tight end, number 2, number 3, number 4 receiver. We're going to see if they can show up and, produce touches and help this offense win football games.
All right, on the phone with us, Ray FIDEPALDO from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, covers the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nobody breaks it down like Ray does, and we've had him on the show several times. He's one of our favorites to call in regards to the Steelers and always accommodating to the show. And I want to thank Ray for being here today. Ray, Jaylen Warren got a brand new contract, 3-year contract extension. My opinion of this is I think he should earn it because here they handed him a 3-year contract, and all we know is that he can run on third down. Can this guy be the feature back for this team?
I think he will be this year, Ralph. I don't think that necessarily means that he's going to be in 2026 or 2027. Really, if you break down the contract, before the contract was signed, Ralph, he was making a little bit over $5 million on that restricted free agent tender. Now he's making like between 5.5 and I think $6 million a year over the life of this 3-year contract. So it's not a lot more money, and I do think if he ends up just being a third down back again in 26 or 27, and let's say Caleb Johnson takes over as RB1, having a good backup for between 5.5 and $6 million isn't all that bad. So I'm actually okay with the contract. Jaylen Warren is a guy who's always showed up. Had a couple of injuries here and there, but this is a guy who plays hard. He's a good teammate, and I think this was a good signing by the Steelers.
All right, well, we'll see what happens on Sunday. I'm still, I'm not trying to be ignorant toward him or anything like that. I'm just not sold on him and his durability. We got to see what he can do as the starting running back. I mean, he was only brought in spot duty when Najee Harris was here, and we need to see what he can do. And if he can do it, good. And I hope he does, because the Steelers are going to need everything they have on the field in order to win these games. It's not going to be DK Metcalf. It's not going to be Aaron Rodgers. We need everybody. Everybody has to be on the same page here, and I'm hoping that's the case this Sunday against the Jets. And Aaron Glenn, in his first game as a new head coach of the Jets. Justin Fields, our former starting quarterback, is also going to be with the Jets. So we're going to see, does Justin Fields want to get a measure of revenge, or is he going to be looking to win a game? We're going to finally see what Aaron Glenn's made of as a head coach. There's a lot of question marks for this game this Sunday, but we're going to find out what happens. And I don't know what the Steelers are going to do here. They got some key guys down on the defense. Is Jack Sawyer going to be playing a lot, Ray, based on the fact because of Nate Herbig being down?
Yeah, that's a good point, Ralph. Not only that, Jack Sawyer's going to have to bump up and be the top backup and outside linebacker, but you can see a situation, and Mike Tomlin didn't commit one way or the other today when he was asked, but you can see a situation where rookie fifth-round pick Wyatt Black could actually start in place of Harmon. Now, they'll have other options. Isaiah Loudermilk is a veteran, so maybe they would give him the nod there, but there's no doubt Wyatt Black is going to play significant snaps in this football game. And, Mike says they always have a nice rotation, a deep rotation early in the season, so they don't have to deal with fatigue up front. So Wyatt Black, Jack Sawyer, some guys who were, fourth and fifth round picks are going to get a chance to, play a bunch of significant snaps in the football game. And in Sawyer's case, he's going to play special teams anyway, but he might have that added duty of having to play, 10, 15, maybe even 20 snaps in outside linebacker if Herbie cannot go.
All right. Smokin' Jim, any questions for Ray? Any more questions?
Yeah, I just got one question, Ray. Is Caleb Johnson in jeopardy of not getting a helmet? I mean, he lost his job as a kickoff returner. He's not a third down back. He's not a goal line back. Do you think that there's a point in the season where he doesn't even get a helmet?
Yeah, I mean, Jim, that's not out of the question. Depth charts don't mean everything, but he is listed behind Kevin Gainwell as the number 3 running back to start the season. I mean, it's a motivational thing. I think Caleb Johnson is going to get home early in the season. I think they want to see what he can do. But, listen, Caleb Johnson is pretty much a guy who is going to run on first and second downs. He's not a good pass protector. And he's not a great receiver out of the backfield. And Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren do that extremely well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Hopefully for Caleb Johnson's sake, he's able to get in there, tote the ball a little bit, and impress the coaches with what he does as a runner.
My next question to you, Ray, are we going to see a lot of movement from T.J. Watt moving back and forth and around here like what's been said, and also Jalen Ramsey? What are we looking at?
Yeah. They put their hand in the preseason and what they do, but I think you'll see TJ move around some. Now, it's not going to be half on the right side, half on the left side. I mean, he's extremely comfortable coming off that left side, so that's not going to change all that much. But they don't want a target on his back either, so that's a big part of that. And they acquired Jalen Ramsey because of his versatility. So you'll see him out there as slot corner. You'll see him at free safety, and depending on the situation, you can see him at outside corner too. Garrett Wilson is a good receiver. It'll be interesting to see who draws that matchup this week, but you can rest assured Jalen Ramsey will be moving around, and he'll have different responsibilities within that defense, not only week to week, but from snap to snap in these football games.
All right. Smokin' Jim, any final questions for Ray before I let him go?
No, great job, Ray. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Ray, for being part of the program. And I always appreciate you being here and on the radio show as well. And, we'll have you come on again sometime again to talk about the Steelers, and we'll see what they do Sunday against Jets.
All right, thanks, guys. Enjoy the game on
All right, thanks, Ray. Ray FIDEPALDO from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, who just joined us by phone at Steeler headquarters. As you know, Ray is always there. And today, Mike Tomlin had his press conference today as well. And of course, you know, those can be boring, but I always watch them anyway, just to bring, or, you know, for comment purposes and everything else. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on what Ray had to say and your thoughts on this Sunday's game.
I mean, Ray's a beast, man. He's the best of the best. Hey, listen, I said all along that YA Black was going to be the steal of the draft. I mean, the guy's tremendous. He's much better than the first round draft choice, Derek Harmon. I don't think Harmon gets his job back. This guy is a tank in the middle, keeps his legs moving. He can sack the quarterback. He can stop the run. I tell you what, man, that was a great observation you made about Jack Sawyer, because not only is Jack Sawyer an outstanding linebacker, but he got the size of 270 pounds to fill in that defensive end. Jack Sawyer may get some more play time than I initially expected because of his ability to play on the defensive line.
Yeah, thank you for that as well. I've been a fan of Jack Sawyer. I was the one who predicted the Steelers would take him if he was available. I thought they should take him. I hate to say this, Smokin' Jim, but I think he's going to be the next. He could be the next TJ Watt on this team down the road. I mean, I'm not saying right away.
Let me ask you this, Ralph. What is the other 31 teams looking at in their scouting department when they can pass on a YA Black and a Jack Sawyer? I mean, they just dropped and dropped and dropped. There's a 31 other teams that can use those two guys.
Yes.
And so Pittsburgh really got a couple of steals right there.
Yeah, they got lucky with them getting them guys, because I didn't know anything about this YA Black at all until now. And you know, to get a stud like that in the 5th round, there's all the so-called national pundits out here. They're all saying still that the Steelers got to steal in Will Howard. I'm starting to wonder, you know, and I always respect your observation, Smokin' Jim. I don't know what we can expect out of Will Howard. You saw more of Will Howard than I did, but I don't care how many national championships he's won, how many quarterbacks over the years between you and I that we've seen win national championships and be busts in the NFL. We don't know what this kid can do. And for everyone to keep going on and on about how the Steelers got to steal in Will Howard, why did he drop to the 6th round, like you said? Why did he go that far down? There had to be something that the other teams didn't want with this kid. And that's the same thing with YA Black and Jack Sawyer, but I'm glad that we have them.
Yeah, I always said that Will Howard was a tight end trying to play quarterback.
I know, yeah.
And so, so it doesn't surprise me that he's not even on the depth chart right now. But I just thought it was a waste of a draft pick when the whole world knows that the Pittsburgh Steelers next year are going to draft a quarterback in the first round. So you're developing Will Howard for what?
He's going to be another Mason Rudolph. You know,
I mean, there's positions on the team that need to get better.
Right.
And you're drafting a quarterback that can't even get reps in practice.
Yes.
There's not enough reps for 2 quarterbacks during the regular season, let alone 4. So the Pittsburgh Steelers blew it. You got to start getting. They need a kick returner. They need a punt returner.
I've said that many times. How many times have I barked on that we need to go into the draft?
And they're drafting a quarterback that's never going to play here. Well,
exactly.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's the con man for you.
Yeah, there you go. The numbers cruncher.
and you're right. Hey, listen, Jaylen Warren. Nothing against it. I like Jaylen Warren. I think he's exciting. I don't think he's Najee Harris, a number 1 back, but they gave him $12 million guaranteed money.
Yeah,
Come
I know.
on, man.
Yeah.
What's
Hey,
going
here's
on?
in my eyes, Smoking Jim, this guy to me is unproven. I mean, the only thing he's done is third down the running. I mean, he's spelled off Najee Harris, and you're going to give a guy like that kind of money. You know, there's too much unknown with this team this year. Too much unknown. And what's happening now is we're coming up on game number 1 here, and we got Cam Hayward's down. You know, you don't even know if he's going to play. I think he slipped on a banana peel or something. You know what I mean? You know. So you know, you know, and now and what have I been preaching for the last 5 years, Smoking Jim, or as long as you've known me? How long have I been preaching about the defensive line? I mean, Y.A. Black, yeah, that's great, but he's one man. Keanu Benton, you know, he's out of position. He's playing nose tackle. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Now you got Y.A. Black in there. Maybe Keanu Benton will step up. I hope he does. You know, but you got Logan Lee now playing. Dean Lowry's hurt again. Loudermilk made the roster because they don't have anybody else. Harmon's injured. So my concern is the lines of scrimmage. I mean, to me, that is your key thing there. If you can't beat the battle of the lines of scrimmage, forget it. It's over. It's done. I don't care how many tackles you make. I don't care how many passes you throw. I don't care how many times you run the football. If your lines of scrimmage are out of control and out of order, it's not going to happen. It's terrible. Your game is done. Okay. I mean, it's just completely over. And I still don't understand why the Steelers have never, ever considered. I mean, they haven't had a great nose tackle since Casey Hampton. I mean, come on. I mean, I told them that they should have took Travis Jones, and look at what he's doing with the Ravens.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, they should have took Mike Falala like I told him to do. And guess what happened? He's now playing for the Ravens. He starts, a big dude, 360, almost 400 pounds. The guy is a wall. I mean, you don't let guys like that pass by. You take them when you can get them. I've said this for many years now. It's just like they just totally ignored the defensive line. What did they go? The Marvin Llewellyn. Oh, you know what I mean? You know, you and I both called that one. We both called that one. You know,
yes,
so
we did.
You know, so I mean, we both said it. All right, tonight at 7:30 p.m. tonight, I'm going to be on a Sports Nuts show at 7:30 on Facebook and YouTube. I was invited as a guest. I want to thank Brandon Keeler for having me on tonight for the program. And being that we were busy with the guests here, I didn't get a chance to go on Facebook and see who is tuning in. But we're going to do that right now as we speak. So let me see who's all tuning in here. Excuse me for a moment. Let me see who's all tuning in on Facebook. I want to thank Brandon for having me on tonight on the Sports Nuts Show, 7:30, YouTube and Facebook. And also don't forget to like and subscribe them guys as well. They are great people, and it's going to be a great working relationship with me, the Sports Nuts, and RW Media Productions as well. Also, don't forget for speaking of Sports Corner radio show, Saturday afternoons, 2:00 p.m. and every Saturday on 12:50 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial. We have a lot to talk about this week, including the Steeler game, the Pitt-Duquesne game. We're also going to talk about the Pirates as they get ready to end their season. What can they do better next year? I don't think anything can happen with the Pirates, but we'll be talking about a lot of things on the Sports Corner radio show with me, Ralph Williams, Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree. Smoking Jim's off for the show for this week. He has prior obligations, so he will not be available for the show. So, but Smoking Jim, it'll be a pleasure to have you back on next week, and we'll be back next Tuesday for Sports Corner. Stay tuned. Smoking Jim and I are coming up at 5:00 for Wrestle Talk. We got a lot to talk about, and the main topic today is this, and I want everyone's opinion on this today for the Wrestle Talk show. After the events that happened to Roman Reigns, which I'm going to say something that a lot of people are not going to like on Wrestle Talk. Roman Reigns kind of did this to himself, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, if you didn't see it, I did. Okay, Wrestle Talk coming up at 5 o'clock. That, and I know a lot of you that are Roman Reigns fans are not going to like what I have to say, but it's the truth. Okay, and I will tell you what led to this. And I think if he would have just done what I said he should have done, he probably wouldn't be in a hospital right now. So, so he's in a hospital in serious condition. Don't even know if his career is going to be back in wrestling the way he was torn up by Bronson Reed, so, but anyway, let's go back to the comment section real quick before we hang it up. Pens need to get younger. Yes, they do. The Mad Yinzer says, absolutely, they are. They've gone out and got some serious things. All right. It says, the Sports Nuts, thank you. Good afternoon. And we are beyond exciting to see you tonight on our show. Thank you, the Sports Nuts gang. Brandon Feeler, I really appreciate you having me on tonight on the show. And at 7:30 tonight. And also, don't forget, this Friday at 11 a.m., I will be on the Huddle Sports Network on Ken and Ken in the morning. We'll be talking football as we always do with Ken and Ken. I'm on every once in a while with them. It's not a consistent thing, but they said I'm welcome anytime I want to come on. So I'll be on with them Friday morning as a definite 11 a.m. Until next week for Sports Corner Radio Show, for Smokin' Jim Frazier, and Smokin' Jim and I will be back in a few moments with Wrestle Talk. So stay tuned. Thank you.